Is your current real estate brokerage split truly serving your bottom line? What if I told you there's more to the equation than just the percentage alone? Let's dive into the hidden costs you need to be aware of. Hey everyone, Spencer Hsu here with eXp Realty, and today we are tackling a crucial topic that every real estate agent needs to be very mindful of, which is your finances and the brokerage splits. While the percentage is the first thing that comes to mind, there are often hidden costs that can significantly impact your earnings and your overall business growth. I want to break it down to you in this video. So first and foremost, let's talk about the most obvious one, which is the percentage. So most companies will have a few different models in place, right? You have your brokerage split. So it could be a percentage. Now, maybe there's some that over time, as you do more business, you have a better and better split. A place like eXp, you'll have basically an 80-20 split up until a cap of 16K. Different brokerages may have a cap. I've also seen some brokerages have a model where it's not necessarily a split, but it's like a transaction fee. And a transaction fee may be like plus or minus $500-600 per transaction. Whatever it may be, you need to understand what are the different line items there, and then you need to add it all together and see, like, is there a crossover for that? That's going to be the first cost and the easiest thing to calculate, but be mindful, this could be a very big amount. So at eXp, we have a cap. So even though I did like $85 million in production last year, I had a very generous split, right? Like I didn't have to keep paying indefinitely, basically because I hit that cap virtually in a month, right? So be on the lookout for that just to make sure it's not a massive difference, because you do need to ask yourself, if there is a massive difference, what are the things that you're getting for it? And is it still worth being there? And now I'm going to talk about the hidden cost of things, which is going to be more growth oriented. So it's harder to see, but you have unrealized potential that you may be missing. And so how can that be? It could be a lack of essential support, maybe a broker that's on call. It could be marketing tactics from learning from other people within an ecosystem. It could be resources, right? These different things could make you do a lot more work yourself, that you're not here to be an admin. You're here to be a real estate sales professional. If you are then the one dealing with all these things, this could take your mental capacity out of doing the business of real estate, which is a much higher dollar per hour kind of task, right? So you need to understand, like, what is the level of support that you're getting? What is it best to just have it in-house? And then does that math ultimately add up to be better for your particular situation? These are very important things that you need to figure out, because if you're doing these things that are a waste of time, it is not only a negative from a cost perspective, it's also a thing that you may be missing on the growth of something as well. So be very, very mindful for that. So the hidden cost number 2, limited marketing and technology. So depending on the brokerage split that you have, you need to be open and honest in comparing. Like, don't just look at a pure feature. Look at what is our overall package and how does that relate to what you do. So at eXp Realty, we have a platform that's a CRM that's called KV Core, which is all embedded as part of your monthly dues. Now, I personally don't use KV Core because there's also very good platforms that are out there that are third party. So I actually use a third party player, but I still did that math where I realized because eXp's model was significantly less in cost, I can deploy some of that money that I would have saved otherwise to a really robust CRM platform. Because this is really important, because this CRM platform, these tools can also allow you to do more marketing. It gives you the platform to be able to do so. It makes it a better website. Like, these are the things that can actually bring in business, because you have to weigh the balance. What's your cost, and what are the things you could do to bring in a lot of business, right? And then how does that balance out? Super critical to be mindful of. The other thing is, some of these platforms that other brokerages or other companies have may be just straight up outdated or ineffective. And so if that's the case, then you're still spending the same amount of time, but you're not getting the most out of it. And that's why these different tools, like you think about ChatGPT, like no brokerage is going to have that, but you can always use the best in breed tools that are third party. And so when a lot of people use them, you can be like, why do so many people use them? What do they know that you don't know? And then you can determine, are you at that level right now or in the near future to take advantage of that? Really need to factor this in terms of your potential out-of-pocket marketing expenses, which for me, it is a more expensive marketing budget because I am the one paying a separate CRM. That's by my choice, by the way. But at the same time, that's because I know I can easily generate more business from it, and so then it makes sense financially again. If you're finding this breakdown of brokerage splits insightful and want more clarity on how to maximize your real estate income and business growth, You gotta be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. But another critical thing about the hidden cost is the viewer training and development opportunities. Look, at the end of the day, we are here to continue to learn. And if we do not continue to learn, we will fall behind. But there's so many ways to learn, right? You can go to YouTube, which is how you're watching this right now. You can go to seminars. There's a lot of third-party massive coaches that have events. You can also go to your brokerage events, right? Within the EXP ecosystem, a lot of things of this are for free already. Like, for example, you have lots of courses every single day that you can want to learn about. So maybe you're like, look, how do I get better at farming? Well, you can go online and you can see the whole roster of EXP's courses that are taught by other agents just like me, to then figure out how can that benefit for your business without paying anything extra, right? So you want to have it in the routine of training, but don't overtrain, right? You're not a student of just studying all day long and doing no work. You want to study a little bit and then put a lot of the work in. It's kind of like if you guys play any sports. Let's say you're playing basketball and you're learning how to shoot. Well, you can watch on YouTube, or you can work with the coach on shooting. But even though you did that, you still gotta shoot a lot, right? You still gotta do a lot of that actual muscle memory, the training. Even though the coach doesn't have to be there with you every single day, right? They just need to fix your mistakes, but you still gotta put in the work. So it's the same idea, right? Do your research to understand what specific things you're trying to do, and then be proactive in terms of doing that over and over again until you can get a lot better. So this is a big deal, right? Because if you were working at our brokerage, it's all included. But if you're working at others, you may be at the whims of Stu. You just don't have as many options that you could possibly have with that kind of scale. The next hidden cost is the missed opportunities for team collaboration. So if you think about most brokerages, individuals are kind of competing with one another, right? Because there's no win if someone in your office is the one that got the business. But that's because there's no real alignment, right? If the company does well, it doesn't really do you any well. But if you did well with EXP, or other people at EXP does well, it generally boosts that company. And so because we all have ownership in that company, even by default, you have the upside to see people within your brokerage grow. That's kind of number one. Number two, because of the opportunities that are here, there's also the revenue share model. This is not a profit share model. This is the revenue share model, which is the top line, right? Because EXP has allowed this to be the case, if you follow my stuff and you're like, look, Spencer, I want to be aligned with you, you can then join my downline, my group, right? And then you can get the benefits of having access to me that will help you ultimately. I want to see you succeed, because selfishly, it's financially beneficial for me, right? And you want that kind of alignment. If there's no financial alignment, there's no reason for people to do things unless it was just the goodness of their heart, which can only last for some time. Goodwill will only last for some time from that perspective, right? And so that's a very attractive model where you're not losing anything. I certainly get some of the benefits, but it's a win-win for everyone, because as long as your pie is bigger and you're getting more out of it, it's a win for you, right? So finding a brokerage that has that kind of financial alignment is so critical. Because without it, there's no real alignment. And so there's no reason for people to spend their valuable time to help an individual like yourself. Be real about it. That's the purpose of it. Now, if the brokerage just has another opinion about it, they should certainly have it aligned financially, and then they should have their leaders not get compensated as much for that to occur. So as you can see, the percentage of your brokerage split is just one piece of the puzzle. You gotta understand the hidden costs, the support, the technology, the training, and the collaborative opportunities. And most importantly, you gotta understand what are the key things that can increase the revenue side, which is super important, because revenue will solve all problems. So it's super critical to focus on things and be sure who can you align yourself with and who can support you along with your growth. So don't forget to like this video if it helped shed some light on this important topic, and share with other agents who might be wondering about their splits and if they're getting a fair deal. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.